Welcome to another episode of the Lightspeed Investing Podcast. I'm super excited to introduce you guys to Jofer, who is a seasoned crypto trader, now really immersed with trading futures and commodities financial markets. He's a dad of two who was working the 9 to 5 scene until he became an entrepreneur. So super excited to have you here, Jofer, and share with us your trading journey.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me here today, Philip. This last 6 months have been absolutely life-changing and eye-opening, to say the least, especially watching our elite traders trade.
So for you, why do you say what you say? Because obviously your first trade in crypto, as you shared with me backstage, was back in 2017. So you've been, dabbling in different asset classes, maybe specifically with crypto. But what has the futures and commodity financial markets really done, for you specifically in terms of opening your mind some more?
For this, it's, I guess, the speed of it all. It's ridiculously faster. If you guys think crypto is fast or volatile, you haven't seen the commodities market, especially because you can go both ways. What I mean by that is you can go long or you can go short. With crypto and most exchanges, especially based out of the US, like Coinbase, for example, we can only go long. So you have to wait. You got to bide your time. It's a waste of time now knowing what I know in this space.
What does it mean to go long for the audience listening who may not know trading terminologies?
Oh, yes, of course. So when to go long, it's when you buy a stock, for example, and your hopes are that it'll go up in price.
Yep.
And same with the opposite. When you short, you're hoping that the price will go down along with you.
Now, the interesting thing is in the futures and commodity financial markets, right, when the markets collapse, it actually goes down 67% faster than when it goes up, right? So what you're saying is, in crypto, similar to stocks, you can only trade one way. You cannot take advantage of the shorts. Is that correct?
That is correct, especially if you're not going to use any leverage and you're just going to use whatever capital you have, which, for most of us doing a 9 to 5, that's very minimal most days. So
So how did you get into the trading space, to start with? Like what got you trading crypto? And obviously it's evolved to be paying more attention to the futures, right?
So when I first heard about crypto, I thought, what the heck is this thing? And everyone's like Bitcoin, this Bitcoin died in 2017. It was on the hype, the rise of the bull market of that year. And so one night I was at a friend's house and I said, you know what, let me just download this app. It was Coinbase. And I said, let me just see what the hell it is. What's 50 bucks? You know what I mean? So I bought $50 that night and I woke up the next morning and it was, I think, $65. So that alone, I'm a math guy. That alone was like my mind just spun. I made X amount in this little amount of time while I was sleeping. And the fact that, you obviously go from 50 to say $5,000, that same amount of money will be made in the same amount of time, but just on a larger scale type of thing. So that's what interested me to even look into somewhere else besides just, your regular 9 to 5.
And what were you doing? Were you more like white collar? Were you already sitting in front of a computer during the 9 to 5 phase, or were you like out and about in fields?
It's funny you say that. So I dropped out of college because my grandma was sick, so I had to be the one to take care of her, and I had to work full time. So I pretty much worked at any job I could get my hands on, type of thing. So I was very handy. I ended up at the time I was at Best Buy. I worked for Geek Squad.
Oh,
I
I see.
was Yes, what I thought was good income at the time was like $30 an hour, 60K a year, whatever the case is.
Gotcha.
Now looking back at that, it's like, dude, that's that's pennies on the dollar now.
And why specifically do you say that?
Because of the speed that money's made in this space, especially in futures and the way that our traders trade and the skill set that you build in this space with our traders, it's absolutely insane, especially when you see it live the first couple of times. Let me tell you this, it's still like unbelievable. I've been in this for about 6 7 months now, and every time I see it, it's still 20K. Oh, okay, in like 2 minutes. Like it's mind-blowing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But what about losses, right? Like, I mean, if you have huge gains, because the futures and commodity financial markets inherently has more risk and volatility, right? What do you have to say to people about your potential losses?
I mean, losses is mitigated by the skill set that you have. If you don't have a skill set, if you're just blindly pressing buttons, you're gambling at that point.
Right.
With this group, you learn everything. We're here 4 out of 5 days a week. I wish it was 5 days out of the week, but
We
we
do
got to
have
let
our
every.
fun to run, right?
Oh, yeah,
Unfortunately.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So as far as the risk goes and the losses goes,
Yeah.
that's all up to you. They teach us exactly how to mitigate those losses and to keep it so that if you're in a losing trade, you cut it short. So realistically, losses is it's all on you if you want to listen to what they're teaching or if you want to trade your own way and let your emotions take control.
So when you were trading crypto, you know how you said you like bought it at night and then it went up $15? Did you have any
Mhm.
strategies or did you just was like, ah, all right, whatever. Let me play with this new thing and just learn on the fly? Like, what was your approach with crypto?
Second option, learn on the fly. And realistically, that was me for the first 4 5 years. It paid out what okay. There were some months where I guess I got lucky since I technically didn't know what the hell I was
Yeah, I was
doing.
gonna say you
Well, I
definitely got
made
lucky, man. You just
dude,
like, oh, I think I should buy it now, right? With no reference.
yeah. Yes, exactly. So I didn't have a technical background at the time. I was more of just reading the news and I guess the YouTuber thing. But it paid off a little bit because there were, I guess, 3 months in a row where I was able to pull about 20K a month on
Mm.
average, which was obviously, you make 60K a year. If you do that in 3 months, I felt like I was on top of the world at that time.
And what was the
So,
investment required for you to generate 20K a month?
so it was basically 20K. So I was doubling my money for 3 months straight.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I jumped from project to project.
Okay, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
You put,
yeah.
but you once you saw the $15 profit, you put in 20 grand. I mean, how did that?
Oh no,
Yeah,
definitely not that. No, no, no,
yeah.
no,
I
no.
was like,
So,
what?
so from 2017, I want to say after the market crashed, right? I ended up putting maybe 3K in total for that year, for the end of that year. It was from November, and the 3K became about I guess 1K. So I kind of forgot about it, to be completely honest with you. I just kind of put it to the wayside,
Oh, I see.
and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna focus on my job and yada yada yada. Try to climb the scale until a couple years later, where I said, oh, now I know why I did that because it's cyclical. It was going down because it was the end of the bull market. So now things are going to ramp back up. So then I said, let me pick this back up and do my research and see what's new, see what I can get into. And from there, I was, I guess, a little bit more hands-on with everything, less guessing, still a little bit of guessing, but a little bit of luck. But from there, I went from I guess 5K to 15K. I stumbled on some money, some home equity, things like that. So I there was it was called Matic at the time. It right now it's a token that made me the 20K a month
Oh,
for
okay.
the
So it
3 months
wasn't
straight. Yeah.
Bitcoin and Ethereum.
No, it was an altcoin because Bitcoin at the time was already ramped up, and
Oh,
realistically,
I see.
Bitcoin is more of a hedge because it won't move as dramatically as the rest of the markets do because of the
Interesting.
market cap and everything like that.
Oh, I see. So for you then, right now, like, what is your goal with trading? Because a lot of our clients, when they see this, they can utilize this skill set as a supplemental income. They can utilize it as a replacement of their full income, or they commit to it and they make this a full blown thing. So what category do you think you fit in?
100% the last option. I
Wow.
see this as my end game. I see this as an opportunity to change not just my life and my children's life. I have two little girls, but to change possibly the trajectory of my own bloodline because we've never had. I'm Filipino and Indian. We've nenever had money like that. So
Wow.
to see it generated the way that it's being generated live in front of your eyes, this is definitely something that I know once I master, I'll even get even 1% of that. Oh my God, even 1% of that, I'll be more than happy.
Do you feel like you will still trade crypto, or are you going to literally put crypto to the wayside, similar to what you did before, and you're just going to focus on commodities?
I currently am focusing on my commodity skill set, but I did look into crypto and everything I learned here is applicable to the crypto space, except the shorting part, all the longing, all the techniques,
Right.
seeing the charts, understanding the candles, everything is applicable both ways. But commodities right now is 100% where if I'm going to build wealth, generational wealth, this is where I have to be and where anyone who's interested should be.
But here's the thing, Jofer, right? I mean, you're talking about speed. You're talking about, with crypto, you started after the $15. You put a grand or 3 grand in. So,
Mhm.
what do you need to get started here in futures, right? Is it a way bigger amount, or is it similar to what you had to put in for crypto for those listening?
So the best part about this, I would say, is that you can get started with as little as $50 if you want to trade the mini markets, or what we trade is the Dow, which is the YM leverage. Because we trade in leverage, $500 essentially, if your skill set is there, would be what you need to get started.
And so, in regards to crypto versus futures, right?
Mhm.
What are you focusing on now that you can short futures? Are you still trading the longs, or are you, trying to become a masterful short trader only? Like, what's your strategy look like?
My strategy is I play what's in front of me. You do an overview of the day, you see where the market is headed or potentially headed, and then you game plan for it, A, B, and C. But if nothing pans out, you play what's in front of you. So it's either long or short. I have no bias. And I try to keep my emotions out of it as much as possible because that's how we're taught.
I love it. I love it. So, how many, days are you trading realistically out of the 5 days a week, and how much time is invested right now?
Um, luckily, I'm able to be in front of my computer yeah, probably 4 out of 5 days, and for a few hours a day, depending if my girls are relatively behaved. Like
Yeah.
before we started this, my little one came in here and was
Sure.
trying to pull me downstairs. But I would say maybe 2 3 hours in front of a screen if you want. 6:30 is definitely the most ideal, I would say, because that's when market opens. That's when the volatility is at
Oh,
its
you're on
peak.
the West Coast, I'm guessing.
Yes. Oh, yes, I am on. Yes,
So,
California.
so, so
Yes.
you're talking about right when the New York bell rings, right at 9:30 Eastern.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the best time.
So for you, let's talk about the inputs, right? Because inputs ultimately dictate outputs. Where yes, we are a make money firm. We either make money for our clients, we teach them how to do it, or we have the software that does it for you as well. But more importantly, money is a byproduct of all your inputs. So what are you looking for? For how many points out of how many contracts realistically are you extracting? And out of 10 trades right now is your with terms of your accuracy, where do you think you're at, and where do you want to get that accuracy up to?
So the goal daily is about $500, which is, I mean, realistically 100 points.
Okay.
And in the morning, that's pretty quick. If you, it sounds like a lot of money to most people, but $500 gets made in, if you do it the right way, in 30 seconds, a minute, or whatever the case is.
So you're being
Um,
diligent with just one contract. You're not even scaling your contract size.
exactly. Yes, I definitely want to, because I'm currently at maybe about 60 to 70% ish
Okay.
accuracy wise.
Gotcha.
Um, so I want to get it up to 80 to 90 before I start to scale from one contract and above.
Yeah. No, that's a really good approach. Certainly recommend you doing that. And with you right now, you said you got kids and whatnot. So if you're trading in the mornings, I'm kind of curious, how do you structure the rest of your day? Are you still working at a 9 to 5, or are you working to transition out of that?
No, so I do work here at home, and I do have enough in my crypto,
Oh, I see.
from before to be able to supplement everything that I'm doing now. And
Love
my
it.
wife also works, so we split everything pretty much 50-50. So thankfully, she's very, very supportive of this journey for me because I've shown her what's possible and she's seen it live with me on a few classes. And she's also blown away every time she sees it. So the fact that I have that kind of support allows me to be able to really dedicate my time and master this space.
Do you think you eventually want to get into money management? Like in terms of identity, do you just want to be a phenomenal elite trader and be, happy-go-lucky there, or do you want to, consider other things like running a fund or whatnot?
So I love numbers. Like I said from the beginning, I love numbers. So once I master something like this, I mean, eventually in my head, I see it as that once you have X amount, if you get more of it, you're not really going to get to a point where you're happy. You're going to start to look for something to fill that. And something like managing a fund or teaching others to do this, or even on a small scale, that would probably be more filling than adding another zero to my name, just me
Love it.
personally, as of now.
Love it. Well, listen, Jofer, it was a pleasure meeting you and getting your clarity on your trading journey. And of course, there's a lot of options for you to explore once you get your skill set to an even higher level. So Any parting words for those listening, who are brand new? They may still be on the fence, who they may say something along the lines that it's too good to be true. Like how did you kind of, right? How did you kind of overcome, if you had any skepticism, right? Like what was your approach, and what I guess led you to the other side?
So this whole opportunity, luckily, I was part of a mastermind group where our mentor, he introduced us to the opportunity to see what money he wanted to change our money mindset essentially. So he said, if you guys want to see how fast money can be made, come join this class one morning. And that morning, when I saw it, I was at the gym. I'll never forget this. I was at the gym. I said, you know what? I can watch this from my phone. I just have to see what's going on if I'm just a little curious. So when that happened, when the class started, let me tell you, I sat on that leg machine and didn't move a muscle the entire time because I was absolutely blown away by not just the amount of money being popping up on the screen, and next to it, it said live. So this is a live trade happening, but of how accurate it was, because there was, I don't want to say never, but honestly, I've yet to see a real loss on screen.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, dude, oh my God. If you're
System
on the
works,
fence about this,
right? The
please
system works.
yeah, dude, just please take 30 minutes out of your day, wake up a little bit earlier, show up to a 6:30 class if you're on the West Coast, 9:30 if you're on the East Coast. Show up to the class and, dude, just give 10 minutes. Don't even do the full 30. Stay for 10 minutes. If you're intrigued after 10 minutes, watch the rest and see what else can follow, because that's truly what's possible. And that's what happens every single Tuesday and Thursday when we have that class. And I've seen it for 7 months now. It never gets old. It realistically never gets old. It's always amazing to see that accuracy and, obviously the amount of money being made.
Thank you so much, man. That I really, I appreciate your candidness, and thank you so much for being here. For those listening, if you're curious how you can get access, feel free to message me on LinkedIn, Philip J. Hochsham, or reference the show notes here to book a call to secure your complimentary access. And with that said, I look forward to having you guys join us on the live session and see how fast money can be made. Jofer, again, thanks for your time. And I look forward to connecting with you down the road and see what your trading progress looks like again. Okay.
Thank you very much, Philip. You have a good day, man.
All right, man. Thank you. You take care.